Did you think he could go back in?
No. It was too risky.
Picture this. Two former CIA spies, people who've operated in the shadows, come forward and say the America you know is gone.
We do live in a moment now where the distrust for government is higher than it's been in a long time. We see the largest decline in American currency. We see a lack of public trust. We see consistent presidential approval ratings below 50 for every president that comes through. We are in a place where the people just don't trust their own government.
And you might want to think about leaving. It is a seriously shocking warning.
What about the United States? Because I know Andy said when we had the conversation the other day that he was going to try and leave the United States before 2026.
Well, it's not just me alone leaving.
And today, we're going to unpack the incredible story behind it. Welcome to Real Talk English. Here, we help you get fluent by diving into real-world stories just like this one. We'll pull out the advanced vocabulary and the big ideas to really level up your skills. So let's jump right in.
So, that right there, that's the chilling statement from former CIA agent G.I. Bustamante. It's such a heavy claim, it just makes you stop and think, what in the world do they know that we don't?
And that's really the big question we're tackling today. You see, to understand their warning about the future, we have to go back and understand their past. We have to look at a top-secret mission that almost cost them absolutely everything.
Okay, so where does this all begin? Well, it starts with one of the most dangerous jobs you can imagine in the world of espionage. Andrew and Ji-hae were given the mission of hunting down a traitor inside their own agency.
The kind of traitor they were looking for has a special name. You've probably heard it in movies, a mole or a double agent. We're talking about a CIA officer who was secretly selling America's biggest secrets to an enemy. I mean, in the intelligence world, it does not get any worse than that.
And the situation was beyond critical. This mole didn't just have some information. They had what spies call the keys to the kingdom. That means access to the most sensitive, most valuable secrets the CIA has. Because of that, their mission to catch this person had to be completely compartmentalized, basically kept on total lockdown from almost everyone, even other people at the CIA.
Yeah, just to really let that sink in. With the keys to the kingdom, the mole could expose pretty much any secret operation. That's why being compartmentalized was non-negotiable. Information was restricted strictly to a need-to-know basis. It was just a tiny, secret team going up against a ghost inside their own house.
So what was their plan? It was brilliant, but so risky. They decided to build a brand new, totally secret intelligence team, or a cell, in another country. The whole idea was to make this new cell so interesting, so tempting, that the mole couldn't resist trying to find it. And in doing so, they'd make a mistake that could finally be traced back to them.
But of course, the plan took a terrifying turn. While Andrew Bustamante was deep undercover in a hostile country, he found himself living every spy's single worst nightmare. Suddenly, the hunter had become the hunted.
He was being followed, not by some random person, but by a professional surveillance team. His cover was completely blown. In the spy world, they have a single, chilling word for this. He was burned. It means the enemy knows who you really are. And let me be clear, the danger when you're burned is absolute. You're no longer an asset. You're a target. You can be captured, interrogated for information, or you can just disappear. And a lot of the time, there's no rescue team coming to save you.
As Andrew himself put it, when you're caught, there's a very real chance your own government will just abandon you. It's a brutal reality of the job, and it's actually built right into the system under a concept called plausible deniability.
Plausible deniability. It sounds formal, but what it means is harsh and simple. If an agent gets caught, the highest levels of government, even the president, can look the world in the eye and say, "We have no idea who that person is. You are 100% on your own."
So, to survive this, Andrew had to dig deep and rely on his intense psychological training. He had to get his own internal panic under control, what spies call head trash, while at the same time fighting off the enemy's clever elicitation techniques. They're subtle tricks to get him to give up information.
It's really a mental chess match at the highest level. Head trash is all that negative self-talk, the fear and the doubt that floods your brain and can paralyze you in a crisis. On the other side, elicitation is the art of pulling information out of someone, often without them even realizing they're giving it away.
You have to be a master of your own mind while countering your opponent's every move.
Okay, so we have this insane story of betrayal, danger, and psychological warfare. How does all of that lead to a warning to leave America? Well, here's the pivot. After they left the CIA, they took that same hyper-analytical mindset they used to hunt spies, and they pointed it directly at their own country.
Now, to really understand their point of view, you have to get their mindset. In their line of work, they had to be morally ambivalent. The mission, protecting American lives, was the only thing that mattered. The typical ideas of right and wrong, they just didn't apply.
Yeah, being morally ambivalent just means you operate in a world of gray. The ends always justify the means. And it's this cold, detached, calculating perspective that they now use when they look at the political and social situation in the US.
And what do they see through that lens? They see America going through a painful transition. They talk about an old America where people could work together versus a new America that's defined by deep, deep distrust and crippling political gridlock.
And that's our final key term, gridlock. Think of it like a massive political traffic jam where nothing can move forward because the two sides are just stuck pushing against each other. From their spies' viewpoint, this isn't just frustrating, it's a critical system failure. It makes a country vulnerable, almost like the internal rot caused by a mole.
Whew, okay. That was an intense journey, wasn't it? Full of some pretty powerful lessons. So let's slow down for a second and just wrap up with the biggest takeaways for your English and for your understanding of this whole story.
We learned a ton of great spy lingo today, right? We covered the mission itself with words like mole and keys to the kingdom. We talked about the extreme danger with terms like being burned and needing plausible deniability. And we dove into the analytical side with head trash, elicitation, being morally ambivalent, and of course, political gridlock.
So what's the big picture here? Well, first, we learned that espionage is just as much a psychological battle as it is a physical one. Second, this whole story shows just how fragile even the most powerful systems are when trust breaks down from the inside. And finally, their big warning is that this same kind of fragility, the kind caused by gridlock and a total loss of trust, is what they now see threatening the future of the United States.
All right, now that you've got all these key words and ideas down, I really think you should check out the original full interview on the Diary of a CEO. It's a fantastic way to test your listening skills. And hey, if this explainer helped you, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe to Real Talk English. I really want to know what you think. Is their warning an exaggeration, or is it a future we need to get ready for? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.